good morning, or in my case, good morning and good evening. I was just sitting here at 3:30 in the morning and wanted to make a Hades video, and the thing that came to my mind is I was chatting with a friend who picked it up just a week or so ago, and hearing him get into the game and try to learn it, and the way that he is trying to, like, hearing the things that he's running into, that he's having problems with, just gave me the idea, like, maybe I should just do an example of first time, how do I beat Hades? How do I get to my run at the end the first time, beat him, and then, the whole game starts to open up after that. But, the first the first milestone is just getting to the end of the game and beating it. And didn't put much preparation into this. I'm gonna do it off the top of my head, and I want to explain. I don't even know if this is what I did. It's probably pretty close to what I ended up doing, but I wanted to explain what I would do if I were gonna go back in time and tell past me how to do this. So, yeah, let's get right into it. For me, I really think the shield. This is what I used in my 32 heat run, which you can check out up there. Which it was a little dicey, but I'm very proud of that. I think the shield is just the best defensive. It's just the best weapon, honestly. I think you're not gonna get your best speed run with it, and there's some limitations into what you can do offensively with it. But honestly, the damage is solid. Aspect of Chaos, I think, just gives you so much clear and ability to just go out there and hit everything on the screen, get over all of the really annoying crap. Basically speaking, just of Elysium. And being able to charge up the bull rush with the constant defense lets you get around a lot of mechanics. So that's just, I would recommend the shield. Zeus is, so I think if you're at the point of the game where you're trying to beat Hades for the first time, let's just assume you only got the basic aspect. Let's assume that you've put a couple of Titan's Bloods into it. If you haven't, I would recommend doing that. You're eventually going to have enough. You're going to have more. I have 10 right now, and I don't even know what to do with them. So don't even worry about that. Just like, I highly recommend just beating Hades that first time. Put everything into that, and then the game opens up, and you'll just start getting resources, and that'll just happen. So I'm gonna try to go really basic here. We can assume that you only have the Cerberus keepsake. If you don't have this one, it is the first one I would recommend. That plus 50 health just makes the rest of the game so much easier. Other than that, I would recommend going for Athena's first, as well as, honestly, I'm kind of on the fence between Dionysus, Artemis, and Ares. Dionysus and Ares, I've found really help with any mobs that have defensive block features, because it just gets around it, and you can get the AoE damage outside of it. And just bypass it. But we're just gonna run Cerberus only. We're not gonna change our keepsakes at all. We're gonna go back to the mirror here. I'll just do a mirror reset. You know what? I'm gonna go full. I'm gonna be fully ethical here and not try to fake anything. So we're gonna do Chthonic Vitality, Death Defiances, Greater Reflex is that's a gimme. These dirt cheap ones, I'm just gonna upgrade all the super dirt cheap ones, because we're just gonna assume that you've put a few hundred into these. Thick Skin, of course. Oh, Privilege, I didn't realize. We're just gonna do the really, so these are 50 each. Holy cow, that is so much. Okay, let's just that might be a little overboard, but let's just go with this. We'll do the basic Zagreus shield. We have the Cerberus keepsake, and obviously I highly recommend no heat. I don't even think you have the Pact of Punishment until you've beaten Hades. So I'm just gonna go through every room and super explain what I'm thinking and what I would recommend for just how do we make this a successful run. I'm just gonna go full analytical, slow, boring, but informational here.
And how about you take this?
All right, so we got Aphrodite first. This is really good. So, in regards to Aphrodite, she might be the highest damage buff for your attack as special. It's either her or Demeter. Those are the two that just give you a lot of damage, and I think Athena's up there too because there's no additional damage, so it just gives you flat damage. So we're gonna put it on the attack, and so my reasoning there is, we're basically always attacking, and that the weak damage reduction is huge defensively, and it just more consistent damage.
And don't come back.
Notice that I basically start any engagement towards the monster. I'm always going to start with the charge, and then I dash and attack. Dash and attack. Charge, dash, attack. Alright, we got money next. That's good. Charge, attack. Yeah, I often dash strike into almost everything. And then any instance where I suspect that they might attack, I'll just start charging up my bull rush because I just know I get that instant deflect and I'm just safe. And additionally, the reason why I put on my attack is it will also affect your bull rush. So you apply the weak and you get the damage bonus on your bull rush. Obviously not going to use, we're not going to go to Chaos because that's more advanced. Can't go to Erebus because we have no heat. So in this case, the hammer, I think anyone that's played for an hour just knows that the hammer is very enticing. 99% of the time you do always want to go for the hammer. The palm will give us so little here. There are instances where you don't want the hammer. Specifically, like, you could have a build where the hammer really does nothing for you. If you have, I think, Aspect of Hera with the bow, where you're putting your cast into your bow, very few of the hammers really do much for it. So as soon as you have, like, flurry shots, I think you could skip the hammer for, if you have, like, you're going for target farming a boon or something. I'm a very big fan of Pulverizing Blow. Minotaur Rush is very strong, very, very strong. However, I don't like relying on power rushes or power shots. It's obviously the ideal way to play, but if you're not frame perfect, I just find them a little too hard to hit. Breaching Rush is really cool for opening up on some monsters. You just chip that armor off right away and you can attack, but I just double damage, and honestly, I prefer not knocking foes away anyway.
Never been a finer shield.
Makes it easy to just know where they're going to be, dash in the right place. The witches, I want to get on them right away before they can start attacking at the distance. They can be, if you let too many witches end up on the screen, it can become a nightmare, especially in Asphodel when they're supercharged. Notice that I am not using my special at all. I don't have any boons on my special, so it's its base damage. It's very little. I think I use the shield almost entirely for just attack and the bull charge. The special can be nice for like getting things in the distance for just tripping them down, or applying a debuff like poison or doom or something like that. But I generally find it not particularly useful to use. So in this circumstance, because we're trying to be super, super safe, I'm guaranteeing that we're going to the store here. We get more options for boons. If I needed healing, I could get it. I have a good amount of gold. Generally, I look at it like if I have exactly 275 gold, you can buy a Centaur Heart and a boon. And I think that's the sweet spot where going to the shop is kind of a no-brainer. So Boldy is pretty good. His little buff that he gives you is basically nothing, and early on in the game, you don't even get the Boldy buff. And Sisyphus, you can get, I think he gives you 100 gold, maybe 150. It's nice, but I think you're better off go to the, when you're trying to win and you're kind of at the limit of your skill level. And I found this when I was pushing 32 heat, is just take all the safe rooms. Take a totally known safe room that you're gonna get a nice buff on. If I needed guaranteed healing, I would go to Sisyphus, but in this circumstance, I have enough gold. Go to the shop. That's my over explanation. In this circumstance, so Hermes, his stuff is actually, for the shield, not particularly incredible unless you get one additional dash. One additional dash is always incredible, but the faster attacks is nice, but we're probably not going to see more than common on that. And special related stuff is kind of nothing. So honestly, I think Hermes is kind of dead to spend money on here. Demeter is nice because we could actually use it to apply slow with our special here, and it just makes fighting a little bit safer. So I will buy Demeter.
Here's the fee.
And there we go. We can put it on our special. Ravenous Will is a close second for me here. Just taking less damage, dealing more damage. However, since I have 3 casts, I find that I prefer Stygian Soul when I'm just doing a non-cast oriented run, because I can guarantee I can just throw 1 and I can get any bonus for not having my cast. But in this circumstance, we're just going to go with with it on our special. Yeah, so I'm in this situation also, since we have privileged status, I think I only got one point of it. We get that damage bonus, which is really nice. So normally there, I would use my stuffed animal. I forget what they're called. I would use my stuffed animal, my mag. Can I use it right now? No, my summon. But I'm gonna try really hard not to use her, where I normally instinctually would. Because I don't think before you beat Hades the first time you would ever have one.
Her power over plenitude is opposite.
So here, I would recommend grabbing Slicing Shot, because it lets us get around the shield. Like, I find the shield guys in Elysium some of the hardest in the game. Also, with 3 casts, it's actually really high damage. That's 24 times 3 damage per second, or I don't know how fast it's attacking, but it's really good damage that will let us like clear butterfly balls and stuff like that really quickly. And Lernie as well.
Over here.
Yeah, so like I instinctually already know that I have Demeter on my special, so I'm throwing it as I go into a fight. And you'll notice next to the hit point bar, there is the privileged status debuff. I don't know, it looks like a critical strike hit or something. Yeah, we'll go for the heal here.
Those tropes are not for you.
Charge the Bull Rush before any incoming mobs.
Blood and darkness.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much gameplay of new players, but I was watching Maximilian, who I've been just a fan of him as a person, content creator guy in the fighting game world for a long time, and it was really fun watching him start Hades a few days ago. And I think a problem, and this is just me being a spaz, kind of helping me learn Hades a little bit more quickly. I think a problem that people might have is they try to maybe overthink things, or they try to be more deliberate in how they approach controlling this game. Like, the controls are so very aim assisty, very you can input buffer a lot, You know, if you play fighting games, it feels a lot like Street Fighter 3 or Marvel vs. Capcom 2, where like your moves just get buffered very, very fluidly. And so I can just like, I can dash and press attack, and since it's buffered, in fact, I can just roll my thumb over A and then X on the Xbox controller. Let's see if I can even show it. Like, just roll it, and you can get a dash strike. Like, I'm just rolling it, and that, like, the moves, it just, like, and I think this is what I love, one of the things I love about the game so much is the controls are just, it's meant to be enjoying to play. Like, when you think you want Zagreus to do something, he just does it, and it's great. So just for reference there, my choice was not to take the, I think that it didn't have the mini boss icon on it. So to me, like, if I'm trying to do an easier run, I will avoid mini bosses because they're obviously harder. And this is obviously an easy room. So those charging fat guys, the one thing you just gotta watch out for. So you, like, I'm holding on to my dashes, and because I know they have armor, and
How many have I got now?
I know they have armor, and my attacks are not stunning them. So I'm just holding on to a dash, I attack, and then when I see them wind up, like the club guy or the dash fat guy, and then I just dash on the other side of them. Attack, attack, dash, attack, attack, dash, attack, attack, dash. And like just this attack pattern lets you clear most mobs without ever taking damage. And then once their armor's off, you can just stun them. And that's one of the reasons why I really like the double attack. You can use perma-stun almost anything in the game. Alright, so we have 280 gold. Obviously buy everything we can. Don't even worry about it. So here's the thing. You'll only get 4 gods in your pool. So we have Aphrodite, Demeter, Ares. I actually probably should not have bought Dionysus if I want to get another god here. It's too late. So now, because I'm not going to use a keepsake to force a 5th and 6th god in the other zones, this is my 4 gods. Now I have to think, what boons do I want? And what boons do I not want as I start to navigate the rest of this run? Dionysus's aid is actually really good. I would say Demeter's is better. I would say Demeter's and Aphrodite's are better, especially for beginner runs. So we're just gonna go with Drunken Dash here, because I think that will be the best dash of these 4. Yes. And always buy a Centaur Heart. If I didn't have enough gold, I would have just bought the Centaur Heart and not the boon. Because when you get to like 400 hit points at the end of a run, I think even the beginners should have not too much problem with these. So one aberration here. I didn't want to do like a fresh run, like start a whole new city, because that's just, I think, not cool. But one aberration here is I'm fighting Tisiphone instead of Meg, which I don't think you ever would see. I don't know when they first show up, if you have to beat these first, but just pretend this is Meg. I'm just kind of taking it really slow, always just charging, waiting to see what attack she's going to do.
Not again.
I should put Cass in her, or throw Cass at her. Bonus damage, just block. So also a nice thing is, I believe, it's what it feels like anyway, is you're also safe behind yourself. So if you bull rush through a boss, you're still safe going through if they're doing a 360 AoE attack. I do it against the bull all the time. Yep, just waiting to see what she's gonna do, and then charging through, not taking any damage. Throwing my special to make sure she has the Demeter debuff, which she's always got different status on her, which is, I think, just plus 20% damage. I only put 1 into it, I believe. There you go. And yep, nothing special. Just charge up my bull rush, go through, charge up my bull rush,
See
go
you
through.
again, I'm sure.
She dinged me twice, I think. 2 small little hits, but that's it. So we're not gonna.
Okay.
So we'll look at this. So it is worth considering, actually. Is I believe if I sell Junk and Dash, maybe another god. I'm not sure. Maybe another god will show up besides Mr. Dude Guy. And in fact, I think here I would recommend selling
that's cold.
both of these to get the gold. I would actually recommend selling both of those.
Going up.
Like the Ares one is nice, but we lose Boiling Blood, which is 50% more damage when they have cast in them. So, you know, kind of walking back my earlier statement
Change
about
of scenery at least.
about Ares cast for killing bosses. I think it's still pretty good. I would still recommend holding on to it for a newer player because it is safer distance damage, but I don't think we really need to show that. And then the Drunken Dash, it's fine. It's fine. It's just we don't need it because we have Demeter and Aphrodite already giving us privilege status, and like what, 6 damage a second. Whatever. Always take. If you know, if you're confident in being able to the tropes, always take healing gold. You can obviously ignore the other ones if you're just trying to be Hades, and if you are just trying to be Hades, you know, I would recommend skipping, you know, gems and darkness. So I'm just trying to do this safe and slow, which is, you know, not ideal for making money on a throw, but now still 65 gold, which is
You
significant.
waste my time.
There.
All right, really big. Eurydice is always very good.
Looky who. Sing when you're happy. Sing.
So what I'm thinking here is, can I not talk to her to look at my boons? I can look at my boons here. So the only 2 boons we have are these 2. So if we take Ambrosia, it's guaranteed that these 2 go up, and the damage. So we get 50 and 60% damage. I think this is just the no-brainer. Pomporge is obviously weaker. You know, a tier is. I don't know how the scaling works, but a tier is always going to be a bigger jump than a single level within that tier. And then, like, the other 3 boons, Refreshing Nectar is possibly interesting, because if we do see Athena's Call or Divine Dash common is fine. So yeah, basically we would just want to see Athena's Call in rare or epic rarity for really, really big defense during boss fights. But we'll just go Ambrosia, and we'll see that 50 and 60% damage now go up to 69 and 85. So big.
I'll see you.
Okay, bye.
So here's where I was mentioning earlier that you want to clear the witches as quickly as possible because they can get overwhelming. But with the shield, don't get overwhelmed. Just when you see a bunch of the purple balls, just start charging up your shield, and just take a gander. Just look at them. You just sit there, wait for them to attack. You're safe. Go. That bomb hit me in the back, unfortunately.
Time for a boost.
Don't get yourself out of there.
So, honestly, Greatest Reflexes is 9 times out of 10 the right choice. If you get like an epic dodge one, which I think is 20% chance to dodge. That's just 20% more HP is the way you can think of it. So that's huge. And it's very significant in boss fights. So we obviously don't care about our special. We're using as little as possible. We're not a cast-based. Flurry cast can be really good if you are a cast-based build. We're not. So rare greatest reflex is incredible. That's a big win. So we're seeing Dionysus again. So my guess is once you get those gods in the pool, that's just what you see, even if you sell the one boon that you bought. So, like I said earlier, skip the mini boss, always take the shop. So we have enough gold to buy both of these, so we will.
Pleasure doing business.
Hello, young Zagreus.
Demeter's aid is very good. Slowing down bosses is just great
Let's get out of
safety.
here.
So the barge is interesting. It can be a little scary. So I would so sometimes what I do is I'll clear these bombs before the guys even come down, because if you're not super comfortable navigating the fight, it can get, it's extra damage that you don't have to take. Or the recommended thing would be to hit the bombs right as they start spawning, and get some damage on the guys for free. Against those guys, always save a dash, always dash away as you kill them, because those bombs do hurt. Crystal guys will put invincibility shields on the other guys, so always kill the crystals first. Put casting guys, so I do 50% more damage because of boiling blood. There we go.
What do we have here?
Looks like this feast is getting...
Premium vintage is huge for a safety run here. So especially an epic one, we're getting very lucky with this.
To my health.
Yeah, like 280 HP, and we're only halfway through Asphodel. We're basically just doing a hardcore run.
Wave makers.
Yeah, maybe I can do this without using any death defiances. Try to make that my goal here. So yep, always bull rush towards the bad guys. Be very safe here. Wait for him to attack a couple times. And then like if I miss him with my charge, I immediately will dash again to reposition to get away from any projectiles that he might have sent towards me. Even just doing it entirely preventatively, even if there might not be a projectile that I can see on the screen, it'll like that. I'll attack and then dash kind of perpendicular, away or forward and down, just to make sure that any projectiles don't hit me that I might not see. Because like sometimes some fights can just get a little too chaotic, and you're better off having good habits and making it an instinctual thing instead of trying to have your brain actively try to dodge things, because you will get overwhelmed. So it's all about building muscle memory.
That's one more.
All right, 271 gold, so shop is tempting. However, we will go for, so here I'll go for the Centaur Heart, because I think if I had 300 gold, or at least 275, I would do the shop. But a guaranteed free Centaur Heart, because we know that is the room before the boss. We can check by pressing select chamber 24.
Good day,
So
Lernie.
I
And
believe
now,
24
prepare
will
to
always
die.
be the boss room. So get boiling blood on there with the cast. Just toss one special on to get privilege status. Easy. You can tell that he's the Magna Lernie because he has the orange horns on his head. You can tell the type of attack that they're going to do based on the configuration of the horns on his head. magma ones are really easy. I noticed, I was watching someone do a run, and they didn't realize that, like, so you get iframes when you dash, and they didn't realize that you could, like, dash over magma just totally safely without taking damage. And magma does damage fairly slowly, and it only does damage after like a second of standing on it, so you can just dash over that stuff totally safely. And don't be like, I think a big thing about this game is just like, don't be scared. Just go in and play. As long as you're pretty comfortable with a lot of the like where your health is and how much damage you're doing. I'm not really even thinking about what I'm doing here. Just dashing around and attacking, nothing crazy. Attack, attack, dash, attack, attack, dash.
And don't come back.
Oh, we're not changing the keep save. It's just instinct there. Nope. All these three are like our core right now of our build. I could heal if I needed to. I don't. So this is the thing I discounted early on, was the jerky. And in fact the nail too. The nail can be nice. More damage is really good. I'm very confident with my damage right now. Like, I'm not worried about it. But it's a thing that, like, if you feel like your damage is low,
Bye,
like you got I don't know, let's say you got a Dionysus attack where you're applying the poison, but your base damage is low, and you're just not able to finish mobs, like especially armored mobs, before they attack you. Obviously, we're always taking the Centaur Heart, very defensive. Yeah, if you're not able to finish a mob before, so I see the arrow guy there, charge up at him, make sure we kill this thing before it respawns. Yep, you can just buy the jerky and it'll push your damage over the edge there, and especially with the poison in addition, then you're kind of golden, and you're in a really good place for 6 encounters, and it'll give you enough leeway, a little wiggle room to get your damage up higher later on.
Feeling good.
These things that do the, I don't know, what are they? They're statues of guys with shields. The phalanx, I'll call them the phalanx. Those things will get you a lot of the time. So just, yeah, I think if you're trying to be really, really defensive, just stay. Oh, these ones are the worst because it's hard to see. Just try to stay in the middle of the room. So this is kind of where, you know, just having a little knowledge of the boons is advantageous. There is not a single Dionysus boon that I'm remotely interested in. The dash, again, would be okay, but it's really whatever. Unless you put a lot of effort into boosting that damage, you're really not going to get much out of it, and we're better off just getting gold so we can buy more Centaur Hearts later on, get our hit points as high as possible. The whole goal here is just how we behave. That's all we care about. Not trying to make an interesting, crazy high damage build, and to me, gold is worth more than any Dionysus boon you can give me, honestly. And I think that's probably a thing that, you know, a new player might, you know, because I know I have that instinct, is the first thing you want to do is, like, oh, the boons are so interesting and so fun, seeing what you're going to get, but sometimes some boring old money will get you there. So here, getting the cast again for areas would be okay, and you know what, the Dionysus cast trippy shot is nice. You get that AoE stun, so I wouldn't hate having those, but yeah, an Ares dash, if you don't put a lot of if you don't really buff it, does really, really low damage, so I wouldn't recommend going for that either. And trials are hard. I was just reviewing what I just recorded, and listening through it, and I saw that, or heard, or didn't hear, that the microphone actually died as I was recording this. I was also super annoyed all the way up until this point at the sound balance between the game and the microphone. Apologies for how quiet I am relative to the game there, but I do think what I was saying was very valuable. So what I'm going to be doing here is putting myself in that corner there, future me, and trying to narrate what happened and maybe even improve, at least match what I was saying at the time, and maybe even improve. I am just keeping my silly headphones on, and let's just review this, and I'm gonna try to remember what I was saying and keep this informative and interesting, because the run was incredibly good. Like, this could not have gone better. Even if you watch this with the sound off, I think the run is amazing for a first time trying to beat Hades run, and I highly recommend just watching what I do and play carefully and the way I'm thinking about everything. Anyway, let's go and resume. Alright, so here I'm trying to demonstrate how to deal with flame wheels. You can see that all you really have to do is charge up your bull rush and dash through them. A thing I didn't show off here was that you can dash to the other side of any wall or barrier, and they'll turn into it and they'll explode themselves. If you're on a time crunch, flame wheels, or you're just a crazy room, flame wheels can be obnoxious, but they're actually not that bad. Same thing goes with butterfly balls here. You can see that all you have to do is you can just charge up your bull rush and go through all the butterflies. It'll eat them all. You can also just hit your special and you can just spam your special on them. Be super patient and not even worry about it. It's like butterfly balls and flame wheels are those kinds of monsters where in super high heat they can definitely screw you over, but in low heat, if you know how to deal with it, it's pretty comfortable, honestly. Here I go through the different Daedalus hammer buffs. Basically, I think charge shot has value in certain situations, but not here. We want to keep our normal bull rush. Ferocious Guard is awesome for being defensive. You get that one block as you're charging forward for 10 seconds. You get the damage and move speed, but
that's it.
You can just see how fast the quicker attack charge up is. I didn't see that I missed a gold pot there. Here I'm demonstrating that the shield guys, while typically scary, are not that bad with the shield. All you have to do is charge through them, turn around, throw your special, or do like 1 or 2 attacks on them. But also, I do recommend you charge through them, dash away from them just once. If you're too close to them, they will do a quick 180 and just hit you. And it surprised me a number of times. And now I take them very, very carefully. And then, but once they get like that big attack, you get the big wave attack. You do get a bunch of free attacks on them, and then you can just unlock it if there's nothing else hitting you in the back. There's the stun lock demo. Here, obviously take the shop over Aphrodite. We're trying to do a safety run. It's a mini boss Aphrodite. That's just a no-go. Since we have 614 gold, here I'm thinking like, is there anything that Demeter can give us that we really care about? There are a couple things. I think we can still go for Ravenous Will or Killing Freeze. Yeah, those are the two. Those are actually the two that we would want to have. So and then Killing Freeze is just amazing boss killer. Honestly, I think
that woke me up.
I used to undervalue Demeter, but now I think the chill. I undervalued the chill a lot. Like once you get those 10 stacks of chill, it just makes anything scary not scary.
Next.
Showing off that you can just spam your special on the witches, and it'll just eat their fireballs. Like, that's the thing, is like any projectile that you shoot will eat the most of the projectiles that get shot at you. So as long as you're like backed up in a corner, or not cornered, but you know, backed away from the mobs, you can just spam any projectile at them and you're just totally safe. You don't have to like panic and take damage or like try to dash around everything. The big chariots, all you have to do with those guys is charge up your bull rush and go through them. If you try to just hold your shield or you try to dash away from them a lot, like the AI is really clever in like finding a way to get behind you, or they speed up and they'll get behind you. All you have to do is just, if you have Athena's Divine Dash, you can also just dash through them, and that's just the safest thing. Like as soon as you make them do a 180, they just stop, and then you get free attacks on them and you can finish them off. It's pretty easy.
The power of the gods.
I think, did I take Hermes? I actually don't remember if I took Hermes here. So the fact that we have 360 health right now, I'm feeling super comfortable. Also, Hermes can give us the dodge or a faster attack. So Hermes can still give us some good things. So I think we went with Hermes here. I spent a long time explaining what I was thinking, why I took Hermes.
Olympus, I accept this message.
So this is so Swift Strike, a common Swift Strike, 10% attack, whatever. Second Wind is really good if you can charge up your call very quickly. That you can basically keep that the entire fight, and then if you have greater evasion on top of that, you can easily stack 50% dodge. However, this build attacks so slowly that we get our call very just a few times in a fight, and so I would actually rather just take the solid 10% greater evasion, which you can think of as just a flat 10% more hit points.
Now let's be reasonable, no?
Here I'm trying to I was trying to remember the name of Premium Vintage. And I also try to line these guys up to show how you can position the enemies in a way that is advantageous to you. So if you get them grouped up in a certain way, especially with the shield, you can just charge back and forth between them, toss a special, get the debuff on them, and just charge back and forth. I also explain that you don't want to stress about killing the souls, the little floaty ball things that can respawn. You know, it can be really tempting to panic and be like, oh crap, it's respawning. And in fact, Zagreus will say like, uh-oh, I think one's respawning, and they try to, they put it in the game as a warning, but I think it can also lead to poor decisions by making you impatient. And I think you're better off just focusing on whatever is close to you and not worrying too much about a guy possibly respawning in the distance. In fact, I think I purposely try to make that point by letting a guy go off and respawn, or almost respawn, and just like make sure like that's how that chariot gets behind you and bops you in the back.
Keep me going.
And here I was saying something really insightful and awesome. 379 gold. Obviously take the shop. I think I was crossing fingers for
Got stronger
a
there.
minute centaur heart. So here we're thinking about what Ares can give us, explaining that the 4 core slots, attack, special, cast, dash, the game will prioritize giving you boons to fill those slots in, and we already have the 2 that we care about filled in. So we ask ourselves, do we care about Ares cast or Ares dash? The answer right now is no. Is there anything else that Ares might give us on that's lower priority that would really help our build? Not really. Like, we could get Doom on damage taken. We could get more damage on a kill. Your next attack on a kill does more damage. Urge to kill is the one that would be nice, but it's going to be lower chance of seeing it. That's the 10 to 15% more damage, just base across the board from a cast special and cast, attack special and cast. So here, I'm explaining in the heroes fight, if you have a summon, you want to dash in between them and then use it right away. So what that allows you to do is it'll work for both Boldy and Meg. You can also get on the correct side of Theseus so he doesn't block the summon. And also explaining that I'm a big fan of just building dependable muscle memory instead of very conditional things. Because as soon as you have a plan and you say, like, okay, if I just do this 100% of the time, later on when I'm advanced, I'll do the conditional stuff, but just come up with some basic, basic home rules to tell yourself to, like, okay, well, this is a variable I'm not going to think about. I'm just going to, every time I fight these guys, I'm going to dash forward and cast my summon. And even if it is sub-ideal for some circumstance, don't worry about it. So here I want to show off that we want to focus on the Minotaur primarily. We get some extra damage on Theseus when the Minotaur is spinning or doing a fight or an attack that we want to avoid. But yep, we just want to keep our privileged status on both of them, and get the Minotaur down first, because when Theseus phases and does all the god stuff, it just makes the fight a lot messier. So you can notice with Demeter Chill, the Minotaur's barely moving. He's so slow. It's like, it's really easy. So it's like, if you get hit by his stuff, Theseus hit me there, not Minotaur. If you get hit by the Minotaur when he's fully chilled, that just go back and reevaluate, like, why did I get hit by that? Like, how could I have seen that telegraph move? So mostly just pay attention to when you have that pink circle on you from Theseus. Look to block him or get behind a pillar before he attacks you. Dodge the gods here. Once the Minotaur's down, we face Theseus. This was basically, like, perfectly timed. You want to kill the Minotaur right when we face Theseus. We know that Theseus is super low, so we can just zerg him down. Yeah, that fight went really well. I got hit a few times as I was explaining things, but always give your helpful shade and his daps.
Seems I had best prepare myself at this rate.
So here, if you have the Acorn or the Lucky Tooth, I highly recommend switching to those. Especially the Acorn against Hades, because he hits so hard. However, the way you can think of it is the fully upgraded Lucky Tooth gives you 100 more health. So that's 3-ish Hades hits. The Spike Collar gives you 50 health. That's a little bit more than 1 Hades hit. And the Acorn just straight up blocks 5 Hades hits, which is, that's huge. That's at least 150 health. So this room, you want to just always clear all of the pots. That just be very careful, because I've seen 5 golden pots in that room. You just want to make sure that you don't miss any. So I recommend, when you're starting to get comfortable with the game, take a second when you get here and think about your strategy, especially your economic strategy, as you finish out the game. So you look at how much gold you have right now, what you want to buy, how you're going to prioritize that, and then go over to the side rooms and decide, like, do I go for the gold first? Do I get this boon and this boon, which will then, unlock the ability to see other boons, and then come down here and buy them, and, get a higher chance of getting a duo or a legendary that you're interested in. With the side rooms, if you're not as comfortable with the game, I would avoid the mini boss rooms. I believe the mini boss rooms have a higher chance of giving you the Satyr sack, but they also, if they don't have the Satyr sack, they have a mini boss, and if you're just learning the game, probably just want to avoid it. So these side rooms, you want to be a little careful with the side rooms. If you have a lower damage build, just stay back, do damage, throw your special at things. Don't risk getting poisoned. If you are a little scared of getting poisoned, stay near the mandrake root on the side. And yeah, just be careful. So you can, as I'm showing here, although I get hit with poison right there, you can dash and fly across the poison and not get poisoned, as long as you don't stand in it for too long. It's kind of like the magma, I believe. So you can dash across it. You don't have to. You're not gonna 100% get poisoned if you even brush it. Always check the pool of purging whenever you see it. There might be a boon that you. It's just a good habit. Like this is one of those things where, like, in this situation, I know that I didn't have any boons that I wanted to sell, but it's just my habit to always check the pool of purging anyway, just in case. If I was trying to do a real-time speed run, that would be a bad habit, but that's not really something I'm interested in. I like that there's in-game time only. I think the RTA speed run, real-time attack, is it's a cool category, because you have to pick your boon. You have to, like, be able to read your boons and pick them really, really quickly. But I think it's a little less interesting. And, like, I love that there's an in-game timer, and you can just use that for your speedrun timer. So, yeah, I think there's no such thing as a one sack. So we knew that this was not going to be a sack. So satyrs here. These are, I think, like, the scariest normal mob that you find in these side rooms, just because the way that they attack is kind of deceptive. They don't attack once, they attack 2 or 3 times, and they'll track you, so it goes like boop 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 boop. And so, like, if you're dashing around them, you're like, oh, I dodged his first hit and he still poisoned me. It's because he tracked you as you were running around him, and he went boop boop boop, and he hit you with one. So it's just something to be aware of. But with the shield, you can always just charge up your attack, stare right at him with your shield up, and not worry about anything. Also, if you're trying to go for your first Hades run, just always come back down here, look at, refamiliarize yourself with your economic policy, and think about how you're going to execute that. Like, it really pays to just be very patient, very careful, and take your time. Like, that timer in the corner, this might be my slowest run ever, because I'm explaining things the whole way, but there's no timer in the lower left corner. You don't have to worry about that. Go as slow as you need, gather your thoughts on how you're going to approach each room, and just execute it. That's one of the cool things I like about this game, that it really rewards strategic approaches, like, for a super actiony game. It's a roguelike, that it always has that aspect to it, but I think they implemented it in a way that it really rewards sitting back and thinking a little bit.
and there's some depth to those decisions. It's not like there's some roguelikes where it's just like so here I'm showing that you can just spam your special. The rats, like, as long as you're a little away from the rats, they can't hurt you at all. But as I was saying, like, there's some roguelikes where it's just like you just always go for plus damage and plus health, and that's it. And or you know, wider attack, and there's no like real interesting knobs. But here I think you know, I think there's some depth to the economics, especially buying and selling things from the stores that you see pretty often. So here, thinking about the economic policy, you know, look at how much gold we have. Always take a second, look at the Well of Charon, think about like what would help you for the rest of the build. You know, if I'm a new player, Hydrolite, healing, like I'm not going to be confident about my health, just always grab that Hydrolite. We know that there's down there with Charon right now is a Hermes that we're not going to afford and we don't really care about, and a couple palms. And healing is better than palms, especially at the we have level 5 on our attack, and I believe there's diminishing returns on palms, so you don't have to worry about it. So unlucky here, we did not get a 2-sack. So yeah, here I'm trying to just show off the Satyr's staggered attack. Yep, you notice that it went to yeah, it looks like it's a double attack. Nope, this part gets a little dicey. So when a whole bunch of crap that you just don't know how to deal with spawns on the screen, you know, take a second back. Like, I was actually talking too much here, and I got hit a couple times, and I'm just like, oh crap, what's going on? And you know, just take a second and get in the corner, charge up your shield, look at all the different monsters. You have infinite time, and come up with a plan of attack, and say, I'm going to attack this guy, this guy, this guy, and then just execute it. Urge to Kill, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, is a win-win. It's a big boy. Yeah, so the thing about Blade Dash is Blade Dash and Dionysus. I just don't like the dash boons where it's where you started and not where you end, because I generally try to, you know, dash through a monster or dash at a monster, and if I don't like go on a monster, attack, and then dash away as much, like, so I don't really like. It would be kind of interesting if there were like variations of boons. That could be a really cool thing that they could add in like a DLC where like you could like mutate boons or something. So like Blade Dash is where you end up instead of where you start or something like that. The rooms with these little guys, I believe they just have 1 hit point. You just go ham. Yep, just kind of dash at them, hit them once, get the heck out, don't get poisoned. Easy peas, don't take a single point of damage. In what, you know, when I first hit those rooms, I was just like, what's this poison? Why am I getting hit? It's scary. But no, you can just stand back, be safe, not worry about anything. You're just chilling. All right, now you made your point. You can go kill them now. Whoever's playing this had no sense of pacing. Always check the pool. There we go. Easy 3-sack, no big deal.
A special treat for Cerberus. That's a lot of coin.
We have enough money to buy 1 double palm.
Check the other passageways before we go.
Urge to kill, easy. Like, that's a huge damage boost on the special, but our special is just for the debuff. So, like, it's really tempting to be like, that's, what was that, like 26, 30, like 40 something percent. I forget, I don't remember the exact numbers it was showing. But yeah, like, if you're not using your special anyway, like, don't just push numbers up that don't mean anything. You know, to think about, are you even going to utilize it? So with the Hades fight, we want to prioritize always killing the skulls. If there's skulls on the screen, kill them. If Hades is looking at us and about to attack, always just charge up our shield.
Excuse me for a moment.
Look for his footprints. And then block that direction. So normally that spin attack would be super obnoxious. But when you're doing your bull rush, even though it's the sweep looks like it's hitting you in the back, you're still invincible. Yep, just taking it real slow.
Wretches of the underworld, heed me and rise from the earth to do my bidding.
So to avoid getting overwhelmed here, I'm always looking at Hades. It's like my attention is actually like, it's always like 30% on Hades, even while I'm fighting these ads here. So that's why, like, I'm purposely not killing them as quickly as I could. I'm attacking them, but like I'm missing a lot of attacks because I'm looking at Hades and I'm making sure that he's not hitting me in the back, because that's where the real damage comes from. So I'm like really pushing it, how close I'm starting to block before he attacks. It's not really the most newbie friendly thing. So like, what you can do is just attack him like twice and then dash away and then look at him and start charging up. I'm like trying to sneak it in like frame perfect, but you don't have to do that at all. You know, no rush, no time limit. Yep, Demeter's Call just makes this fight so much easier. Like, look at how slow Hades is moving. It's like putting the fight on training wheels. Bunch of skulls here, so we're just gonna try to get away from them, try to dash through the green things. Always prioritize skulls so we don't get surprised. See? Can happen anyway. See the footprints on the ground. Yep, and also while I was playing, I had no sound, which explains the the poor sound balance between my voice and the game. But I was doing all of this just with the visual cues, so like I was looking for his footprints on the ground, but you also get audio spatial cues as well. During the laser phase, the first laser phase, when he has higher than 50% hit points, I might be off by a little bit here, but in the first half, it's always 3 lasers, and you can get behind him and do damage. And then when he's in the bottom 50%, he'll do the 8 lasers, and you have to get behind the pillar. You can dash through the pots to clear them. Do a full DPS phase here with the Demeter Call. Yeah, see, I got hit there by trying to do that frame perfect bull rush charge.
Now this.
I guess that's not even, that's more than, that's like 12 lasers, huh? So here I'm thinking, all right, Hades has 20% hit points left. I still have, let's pretend I have no Death Defiances. I have 183 hit points. I know, just like based on my build, based on my experience, that I can Zerg him down and not even worry about him hurting me. But I'm still just like trying to be a little careful here and demonstrate, like show that I can block the laser with the shield. Try to always keep a cast in him. So there you go. So yeah, it was, I don't know, I think I didn't even plan it. It just, the run honestly ended up being pretty much perfect for demonstrating what I would take for beating Hades for the first time. This is obviously way over explained, not perfect play, but, I think I'm very passionate about how like the learning progression that you can go through with games like this that have that strategic depth, and I really like talking about it, and I like being able to help people learn this stuff and have my friends tell me, like, I'll give them a couple hints, and then have a couple days later, my friend tells me, like, oh yeah, I tried this thing that you told me, and then I beat the boss or whatever, and I love that experience. So, at the least, I hope that I can help at least one person beat Hades for the first time, and start to unlock the rest of the end game, possibly without using God mode, or if you are using God mode, being able to turn it off by seeing how you can play super defensively and use the tools that you have available to you. So yeah, if you made it this far through this this video full of technical difficulties, I really appreciate it, and yeah, just leave a comment and let me know if I was helpful, or if there's anything else you would like to see. This is stuff that I love thinking about and talking about, so I really like this. So and if you really liked it, like it, and give a subscription, and maybe there'll be some more content like this that you would enjoy. So I'm really tired. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the future.